Welcome to the Vanilla To Vixen podcast. This show contains adult content, so if you are under 18 or easily offended, please switch off now. Mr. and Mrs. N are not qualified relationship counsellors. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Now the disclaimer is out of the way. Sit back, relax, and enjoy our journey from Vanilla to Vixen.
Welcome to episode 110 of Vanilla to Vixen. We are your hosts, Mr. and Mrs. N, and we're also known as...
The Naughty Couple.
Hello, Mrs. N.
Hello, Mr. N.
We have such an exciting episode
I know.
Today. We've got two really VIP guests today in the studio.
Yeah, we didn't put them in the shed.
No,
the green
it's
room.
not the shed, it's the green room. Stop spoiling it. Stop spoiling the...
Yeah, I'm not even sure you could call it a room.
No, it's good. It's good. It's the green room. It is. It's good. Yeah, it's good. Talking of good things, I've got a good story for you today.
Okay.
This woman with no arms and legs, and she's crying on the beach.
Right.
Okay. And a really handsome man walks up to her and says, "Why are you so sad?" And she says, "I'm 30 years old and I'm still a virgin because I have no arms and legs. Can you help me?" She cries. And he says, "Oh, that's really sad." He said, what do you want me to do?" And she says, just once, I want to feel really properly fucked." And he says, "Well, okay, I'll help you," because he can see she's in real distress. So he picks her up gently in his big strong arms and he carries her onto the deserted pier because it's at night time. I didn't tell you that bit.
Okay.
On the pier. And she looks at him in the eyes and smiling, and then he suddenly throws her over the side of the pier and says, "You're properly fucked now."
Do you know, I had a feeling it was going in that direction somewhere along the line.
Let's just move on.
Yeah, let's just brush over that one.
So today our special guests are Fabuedo.
Hello.
Fabuedo from Fab Swingers. This is a gorgeous couple that we have seen many, many times.
Yes, we've been incredibly lucky that they've attended several of our V2Vs.
Yes, and I think we've done New Year's Eve together, haven't we? Did you go to New Year's Eve?
No, we didn't do. We didn't do New Year's Eve this year. No,
oh,
no. But I think we've been to all but one of the events, the V2V events. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we finally managed to tie you down to a podcast, and I'm excited to hear how, because we've never really talked about this, although we get big hugs and say hi and everything.
Yeah, we never get to spend quality time.
No.
And so this is an opportunity for us to have a bit of quality time.
We're very elusive.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because we can never find you.
Well, you know where to find us.
And you are so popular that we've named a whole V2V party after you.
Yes.
So it's Fabuedo. We've got Fabuedo with Mr.
Plums.
Professor Plums.
Professor Plums.
Yes, hello there.
And Miss Scarlett.
That's me. Yep.
And we've actually named the October V2V party
In honour
of you two. Honestly, we've got the V2V Cluedo party on the 5th of October.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everyone can dress up as a character if they wish from Cluedo.
I was just thinking about that. If they really want to, you could also dress up as things like a candlestick.
Yes.
If you wanted to.
If you're simple. Let's dress up as a candlestick.
Get roped up.
Get roped up.
Yeah. You could. Yeah, that's actually quite good, isn't it?
That's it. So he mocks me, and then he thinks your idea is amazing.
Rope,
Because if you in Shivari, turn up in the Shivari type thing. That is sexy.
Shivari or Shibari?
Shibari.
Oh, well, yeah.
Or Shibari.
I've only done 109 episodes. I'm not an expert.
And hey, even one couple we met turned up as Cluedo characters, didn't they?
Yep.
So yeah.
Is this a private meet you had to turn
up?
It
was a private meet, yeah. And
he brought a ton of mustard with him, didn't he?
Colonel Mustard and Reverend Green, yeah.
Brilliant.
Met them in a pub car park. A pub garden, yeah. Colonel Mustard and Reverend Green, yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it was cool,
Been friends with him ever since, haven't we?
We have been friends with them ever since, yeah.
Love that.
Our usual opening question is, how did you get into this monkey business?
What, together or from the start?
Well, yeah, right from... Let's go back. Let's go back right to the beginning.
So I'll take the first bit. So I was introduced to the lifestyle, if you like, probably about 5-6 years ago now. Don't get me wrong, I'd always been a bit edgy, I suppose, and I always knew I was a little bit edgy, and I'd always been really interested in, naughty stuff, but never actually dabbled. I was completely monogamous in a monogamous marriage, never cheated, never strayed or anything, but I knew there was an edge to me, and sadly the marriage broke down. And I was introduced to this lifestyle by somebody I used to know shortly, after that. But I think it's fair to say my introduction to the lifestyle was not good. It wasn't a great experience. Despite being in a relationship with this person, and obviously being keen to learn and naturally curious about everything and 100% going to throw myself into it.
He was in the lifestyle, wasn't he?
He was in the lifestyle,
okay.
Yeah. And
did you know he was in the lifestyle when you met him? Okay.
No, not when I met him.
Not when you met him.
Not when I met him, no. But we had that chat, I suppose, very quickly after we got together, but it just went horrendously wrong, and my time and introduction to the lifestyle was everything it shouldn't be. So it was all founded on lies, cheating, deceit, all those things that as lifestylers we, try and convince everybody it's not.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
It shouldn't have to be. So that was my introduction, and gladly that the relationship broke down and I wanted nothing to do.
I was going to say, was that a bit, because obviously like you said, you already knew there was an edge to you, so you knew there was deep down there somewhere, you knew there was something that needed to sort of come out.
Definitely, yeah.
And I suppose you must have had a preconceived idea of what the naughty hobby was going to be like.
Yeah.
Obviously assuming it wasn't what you then found out it to be. Did that kind of, once when you went through that experience, was that a case of, this is so not what I expected? And
yeah, I mean, to be honest, I hadn't researched non-monogamy, I hadn't researched swinging or anything like that. I guess I was just a little bit green, and supposedly like everybody else out there, it just proved to me everything that I thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because, we try and spend our lives convincing people what it's not, I suppose. And like I say, when I came out of that relationship, I wanted nothing to do with it whatsoever. I wanted to go back to the safety and security of a loving relationship, totally monogamous. And I just thought, this edge that I've got inside me, this fire, if you like, and, natural curiosity and naughtiness, I'm just going to have to suppress, because if that is the only outlet that I have for being myself, then I want nothing to do with it. Yeah. So sadly, my introduction, if you like, to the lifestyle wasn't that positive experience until I met this wonderful gentleman sat at the side of me. But he's got probably a different story, I suppose, how he got into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came into the lifestyle out of a happy monogamous marriage that broke down naturally. But I knew I had a sexual edge, wanted more, having seen porn, if you like, where there's threesomes and parties, and I heard it all, never realising it actually existed.
The elusiveness.
It's like, no, I'd never had a threesome, I'd never done anything other than a loving relationship.
Yeah. Did you know anybody that was in?
No.
Okay, so completely.
And so when my divorce come through, I thought, right, I'm going to be open, honest. At work, all the lads knew I was getting into it, and they all wanted to live their sex life through me. I actually become quite, in my own words, I become quite successful as a single gentleman on the scene.
I'm literally, I've not got a hat on, otherwise I would have dipped it and just took it off to you.
And so I set up my own profile as a single guy, realised very quickly that there was a lot of idiots on the sites that I was using, and I didn't want to be that person. No, I didn't want to be the guy sitting in a lie-by saying, come on. Realising that as a gentleman, you had to be genuine.
Sending the single liner, do you want to fuck?
Yeah, totally.
I didn't want to be that guy, so I became genuine and I suppose
considerate.
Yeah, I became a nice guy in the scene and quite successful on it. Had various friends with benefits, I think is the term to use. And I thought, yes, to be on the scene as a single guy, you were as a single guy. I never thought I would meet someone to actually fall in love with.
So how long were you on the sites kind of thing before you met each other?
4 years.
4 years. Wow.
I've been on Fab nearly 8 years now.
Wow.
My single guy profile is still out there, but I haven't been on it for over 3 years now. I've never even looked at it. So apologies to anyone who's looked at my profile and tried to mail me.
You had your chance, you missed it.
I'm off the single scene now, which is great. Love it.
So, Scarlett, if you don't mind me asking, how did you two connect then? If you decided that was it, you didn't want anything to do with that type of lifestyle?
Yeah, totally. So I am very fortunate. I've got some 3 or 4 of my best friends are in the lifestyle. So when I came out of that horrendous relationship, they kind of picked me up, put me back together, if you like, and I did go to clubs with them, which was fun. So I was the unicorn.
Do you remember going to your first club?
I do, yeah. Do
you want to say which one it was?
It was Liberty Elite.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was that your first club?
And you know what? I kept my pants on all night.
Even in the hot tub?
In the hot tub.
In the hot tub?
Yeah, I was absolutely mortified, terrified.
You did go home with wet knickers then?
Seriously, as I walked into that main playroom in Libs, my eyes started bleeding.
Yeah.
You know, I'd just never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
So it was Libs the first time.
Different to like watching porn, isn't it? The minute you walk in there.
Completely, yeah.
It's so different.
Completely.
Yeah.
So much better.
So I'm very fortunate. I have friends in the lifestyle, and one of my very best friends, her partner, worked with Professor Plums.
Okay.
And
we're always amazed how we never actually met at Libs.
We don't know how we missed each other anyway. And she just said, "Do you know what? There's this guy that my partner works with, and I think you two would be okay."
Miss Matchmaker.
So put us in touch with one another, and we dated.
We went on a blind date, didn't we?
We went on a blind vanilla date.
Went to see James Bond.
Yeah, we went to the cinema and went for dinner, and so
that is so cool.
That is so cute, really. So
So I suppose because of how you guys met, you didn't have to have that talk,
that chat.
No.
Because you were both already...
We both knew within the lifestyle.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that people ask us now, say, "Oh, you're so lucky because you didn't have to have that chat.
Yeah.
You already knew you both had an edge. You already knew your history and, track records, if you like, and what you liked and what you didn't like." But really, I think for both of us, I was the solo unicorn, Professor Plums was the solo guy. We've had to almost start from scratch again because,
You had to learn to be a couple.
You've had to learn to swing as a couple, which is totally different to doing it on your own.
I'm always interested. Yeah. Bear in mind, me and Mrs. N obviously kind of discovered together. So we were totally vanilla, weren't we?
Yeah.
So as a couple, I've always kind of wanted to ask this question. As a couple, how do you develop the rules? Because presumably you went on that first date and, hey, I'm not going to fall in love. This is like just a bit of
Neither of
fun.
us wanted a relationship, did we?
No,
Really?
no, yeah, totally. No, we were just going to meet and have a good time together, and
So I'm looking at you both now. I want to know who broke the rules. Who broke the rules and went, okay.
I think I broke the rules.
Yeah.
You've got the naughty twinkle in your eye. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, we were spending lots of time together, obviously, vanilla time and obviously non-vanilla time.
We become friends with benefits, didn't we?
We did become friends with benefits, yeah. And like I say, we both shied away from the whole relationship thing. We didn't want that.
Yeah.
But you know yourselves, the feelings start coming
There was one
in.
very fateful day at a Duran Duran
It was
concert
a
in Hyde
Duran
Park.
concert in Hyde Park, and it was something like the 11th or 12th of July. I know that because it was my son's birthday.
I couldn't have told you that.
And Simon Le Bon was just doing his thing, and we were rocking out to Duran Duran and having a great time. And I just turned, held his head, and I went, I fucking love you.
And I went, easy, Tiger.
And he went, easy, Tiger. I was like, holy shit, I've blown it. This whole...
I saw the look of dread in her face and went, it's okay,
just
the
thought-
feeling is mutual.
And so then the cat's out the bag. It's like, actually, we are both on the same page now, So that's where really, I suppose, you start to go, okay, now the feelings are there, the emotions are there.
Yeah.
We're now romantically monogamous. Now we have to navigate our way through
We
this.
both love what we're doing.
Mrs. Ain's an old romantic. She's got the tissues out.
I'm just
And
interested.
it's different. It's very different.
It's to know, when you were friends with benefits, how did you play? Did you play together? Did you play separately?
We've never played separately.
We've never played separately.
Never
Okay,
played
so you've
together.
always played together.
Yeah.
So I suppose then when the feelings and the emotions then got involved, you both, even though you'd already done it before, that made a difference.
It's
Did it feel different?
Wow.
It felt better.
Yeah.
Really?
I
to actually-
think probably for you,
Yeah.
and
Is it-
you can talk about stuff.
Yeah, I found exactly what I wanted. I wanted that cuddle at the end of the night.
Yeah.
And the reclaim sex and all the other
Yeah.
terms that we use. It was just wonderful to actually have the naughty, fun hobby, then to have the cuddle
And
at the end
morphines.
and wake up
Yeah.
together and giggle about what we've done. Oh, we didn't just do that, did we? Yes, we did. Oh, never mind. Oops. Without that low of the roller coaster, having to go home on my own.
Yeah.
And we talked about this just before we turned the microphones on. You was a single guy. You said, and we've spoken to other single people that say, don't they? There's a crash, isn't there?
There is a massive crash, yeah.
As a single person, which is that's kind of tough. So again, I mean, we have we have the Discord chat for V2V listeners, and it's Discord. Our Discord is specifically for people that are in the lifestyle. So if you're not in the lifestyle, don't go on our Discord, because it is for people interested, genuine in the lifestyle. And it's one of the things we are most proud about is we have the reach out room on there.
Okay.
So it's for anyone. It's manned by volunteers 24 hours a day.
It's completely confidential, isn't it?
And it is for people that want to reach out sometimes when they can just be feeling down or whatever.
Or they feel alone. It's like if they feel like they haven't got anybody that they can talk to and share something
Yeah,
with.
great idea.
There's somebody
Yeah, great
there
idea.
that will listen and help and
Yeah.
And it is, we've heard that, as I say before, that single people go on a meet and then afterwards there is a
Coming down.
crash.
Yeah.
And I think some of the ladies have had wobbles kind of because there's still the stigma, isn't there? If a guy goes out and sleeps with loads of women, then he's a stud and he's cool and that. But for the ladies, then it's like, oh, well, the derogatory term, and I don't think it's a derogatory term, is, oh, I'm a slut, whatever. But in our lifestyle, that's cool.
we like being sluts.
Well, no, slutty's good, slaggy's bad.
Yeah, and I think also, I mean, we talked about this again before the mic came on. I'm very fortunate personally because, I have 3 or 4 very, very close friends. 3 out of 4 of them are in the lifestyle. So as females trying to navigate our way through the emotional roller coaster that this lifestyle can be sometimes, we've got each other and we've always had each other. And, especially during COVID, jumping on the video calls and just chatting stuff through. Whereas, you know, we've met couples, and particularly, you know, I've got chatting with the lady of a couple, and she's literally, you know, I'm trying to get through this on my own. There's nobody I can talk to about how I'm feeling, you know, to the point where is it normal to feel jealous? Is it normal to feel fat? Is it normal? All those things, you know, that as ladies we go through. Yeah. So I think having a
is
reach out.
Is he going to fancy her more than me?
Yeah. Is he going to fall in love with her? Is she going to be better than me? God, what if she's better at sex than I am?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh
We've
God,
all
he's
been
going
that one.
Yeah.
Which the answer is always no.
He's going to run off with her, and what if he likes her more than me? You know, all these things that ladies, I think in particular, go through. So it's great that you've got that reach out facility for those ladies who aren't as fortunate as I am to be able to pick up the phone to their bezies.
I mean, for us especially, and the friends that we have now because of the hobby are like family to us. Yeah. So when we've had a rough time, they were there.
Yeah, totally.
They got us through it. And I would not give that up for anything. Yeah. Because people in the hobby are the most amazing, kind...
Sincere. That's the word I use.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And everybody's experienced the same.
Yeah.
You think you're the only one to have experienced X, Y or Z. But
it's always a series of light bulb moments as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you know, I described my journey, you know, like we've just been saying, we've had to learn from scratch to go through this lifestyle together now. So yes, all those awkward conversations we may not have had to have gone through. We were already there. Yeah. But we've had to go through the same emotional roller coasters as a emotionally connected couple that everybody else goes through.
And that's still navigation, isn't it? It's
totally,
we
certainly made our mistakes, didn't we?
We made our mistakes.
We got it wrong a few times.
You know, we got it wrong, and you know, the debriefs afterwards and the boundaries and the rules that you talk about, we've had to work those out together just like everybody else has.
Yeah.
So,
do you think that has bound to have made you a stronger relationship?
Oh, undoubtedly, yeah.
I think so. That's just my take on it. I think the level of communication amongst couples in the swinging lifestyle are so much deeper because we have to have those honest conversations, like you say, debriefs after an event and going, well, that didn't quite work out.
How did we end up there? How did we end up with them?
Why did we get upset about that?
Why were you not happy with that? Can we talk that through? You know, I mean, there was one not necessarily involving other couples, but we were once in another club. And we fell out in the club. The club, we fell out to the point where we're like, right, let's go and get a drink, sit in the bar. Yeah. What's going on here?
That was a very useful conversation, wasn't it?
And you know, you talk about communication. We're like, this is not us. We're in a club. Why are we falling out? And we just sat there, quite grown up, I suppose, in amongst all this chaos and carnage going on around us, having this deep and meaningful conversation, and we really came up with a very simple reason why things weren't working, and it was just that particular club didn't work for us. Didn't work for us. You know, we want things out of our club experience, if you like, and that particular club we were in wasn't giving us that experience. So it wasn't anything I was doing wrong or anything, you know, Professor Plums was doing wrong. It wasn't even involving other people. It was just that club didn't give us our need. So it's like, we're better than this. What we're doing, fighting in a club, this is ridiculous.
That's so honest of you. The other thing I find amazing is the people that will come on this show and just open up so much, myself included. I consider myself like a private person, and here I was a few months ago talking about, as you know, like we were originally kind of a hot wife couple, and then we kind of we moved on to full swap, and that was an incredible change in our relationship, wasn't it?
Massive.
Incredible.
Yeah, massive. And I went through a whole load of emotions because for years it was always, I couldn't bear the thought of seeing him with somebody else, even to the point where I couldn't bear anybody else kissing him, all that kind of stuff. To all of a sudden, there was a couple of occasions we were at Libs, and I thought to myself, do you know what? I think I'd be all right. as long as it was with somebody that I knew and I
Respected,
trusted and respected and everything. And I didn't say anything to Mr. N at all, because I was a bit scared that I thought, well, if I feel all right now, what happens if next time I don't feel okay? And I thought that wouldn't be fair on him, especially the fact that we've waited so many years. So I waited a couple of times just to see how I felt, and then I literally just dropped the bombshell on him and expected him to just go off and have a great time, which, you know, you enjoyed yourself, didn't you, dear?
But it's also okay that you can feel all right one time and not okay
and this is the
another
thing.
time.
So
That's where communication comes in.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you were saying,
sometimes,
it doesn't matter how long you've been in this crazy hobby.
Yeah.
You have wobbles.
You still have to navigate, and you still have wobbles depending on...
totally.
And everybody's different, so you can feel 100% comfortable with one. People coming in and go, oh, yeah, get together, we'll play with those. But then the following week, you could feel completely different.
Completely, yeah.
You're very mood based, aren't you?
Yeah, and I think females in particular are quite mood based.
Yes.
And sometimes I do feel sorry for the guys, because again, you've got to consider your partner and all those emotions and moods coming into it, and all different things, and I suppose expectations, and let's face it, we've all learned not to have expectations.
We try.
But you guys do.
Yeah, we try. Why just the guys? Why just the guys?
But I mean, I think as well, I think yours is quite a different journey to mine. My journey together, I suppose, has been a series of little light bulb moments. Yeah. Really, and it's like, I get it. Ding, the light bulb goes on. I get it now. I get it. And you talked a few minutes ago about, once those emotions and feelings came in, did that change things?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So, one Saturday night, I'm quite happy. He's off doing his thing, and I'm like, you all right there, love? And, but suddenly it's like, hang on a minute, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Now,
Because
I'm now,
you feel a sense of ownership.
I'm now a bit emotionally attached.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not sure how I feel about that now, and then you wrestle, I think, with your own feelings. Like, why am I feeling like this?
Oh, we do terribly, don't we?
I think you've been quite conflicted, especially in the early days, weren't you? And your attitude and towards the lifestyle has completely changed.
When I was single, when we first got together, I was pushing to make it happen, because as a single guy, you've got to do a lot of work for that little bit of reward.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you're in a couple. I didn't need to try, because I was in a wonderful relationship, having more sex than I knew what to do with. I didn't, and then I had to learn, I don't need to see every opportunity as an opportunity. I could just go and enjoy myself and walk away.
Yeah.
That's an interesting, that's really interesting.
I had to learn swinging isn't everything. My relationship is everything.
Yeah.
And swinging is a bonus.
We always say it's an enhancement of what you've already
absolutely.
And I think as well,
I had to unlearn to be a single guy, if you like.
Yeah.
And it was a very, very interesting point you made as well, Miss Scarlett, that there's almost a sense of guilt sometimes attached to the feeling of jealousy. That in the lifestyle we're not allowed to feel jealous.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. And it's a really bad emotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we're human beings.
It's not. It's a natural emotion.
It is a natural.
And we all have it.
Absolutely.
I think it's how you manage it.
Yeah.
That's the key.
I'm saying nothing to that one.
I
don't have a jealous bone in my body.
It doesn't have any jealousy whatsoever. And I can remember, an episode, actually it was at Libs, where I had an attack of jealousy. I mean, where did that come from? It was fine last week, but this week, oh no, it's not fine at all. And I had to go outside, give my head a wobble and drink water, and, and I felt...
I come running.
You come running. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? I'm not doing any... I know. I'm just having that wobble.
I think
you're right.
I mean, I don't know whether it's the same for guys. It probably isn't. But my personal experience is that if there's somebody that is younger, prettier, in my opinion, my initial reaction is, that ain't happening, mate. It is not happening.
Okay.
And then he'll be like, but why?
Yeah,
Not as in
you're
like...
in love, you're happily married.
Yeah.
I know.
No one is ever going to be better than you.
And Mr. N constantly tells me there isn't anybody else.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody else. But for some reason...
Not enhanced by my thing of usually, you're doing some charity work tonight.
So get this. There was once a couple on Fab Swingers that we were chatting with, and I think they've gone off the lifestyle now. But we were chatting with them for quite some time, and then obviously you get to, right, are we meeting? And the female, again, jumped in, because it's normally the guys that run the profiles. The female jumped in at that point, and she said, sorry to pick back up here, but there is absolutely no way that I'm letting him anywhere near you. You're far too attractive, far too pretty. It's not happening.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Seriously?
Oh, no, you are like good-looking couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she,
Yeah.
you know, and I was like, this is your husband. You know, he could
he's
he could
chosen you.
he could shag me on the big bed in Libs. He wouldn't even know my name tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, this is your husband. But she was like, no way, he's not
Yeah.
coming anywhere near you.
But you have to commend her on her honesty.
Totally, yeah.
Not
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
people would do that, would they?
No,
And
not at all.
That is wonderful, because at least you know, because
Yeah.
it could have gone a lot further and then not ended up so well.
And in the lifestyle, you respect that, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
But whereas
definitely.
I tend to go the other way a little bit, don't I? That I seek out.
Do you pimp him? Do you pimp him out?
I suppose. No, seek out sounds terrible. I like to talk to couples that are perhaps a little bit younger than us,
That's
perhaps
cool.
a little bit out of our reach.
You're talking Mrs. N, who's in.
Well, let me
cougar.
save you from that one. You like ladies.
Miss Scarlet has turned scarlet.
You want the best for me.
I want the best for you, and if I'm going to share this guy's the love of my life. So if I'm going to share him, she needs to be of that standard. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I don't want him.
Sucks to be me.
I know. You know.
It's shit in
Oh,
her.
It's like
It's terrible.
you know, it's like the old nightclub days, you know,
Yeah.
at the 2:00 in the morning girl. It's like, oh, go on then, she's on her own, it's 2:00 in the morning,
Yeah.
I'm going to dance and take her home. Oh no, that's not for him. No, I don't want him picking the last girl in
Yeah.
the nightclub. She's got to step up, and you know,
I love
I'm
this.
loaning out and
Oh,
sharing
yes,
the
she's
most.
got to be worthy.
100%. He's
Yeah.
you know, if
you-
I'm going to share him, she's got to be up there. Yeah.
I do
The
get
microphones
that.
aren't picking up my Cheshire cat.
Obviously, when
I hate you so much right now.
Whereas a lot of ladies are the opposite. You're
yeah,
right.
it's true. But
You're
the-
too attractive.
but
You're
the-
coming nowhere near.
yeah,
him.
exactly.
Oh, I'm the opposite.
But that's how comfortable we
I'm the
are
opposite.
and how the lifestyle is supposed to
Yeah.
work. I don't need to know her name. I'm not going to think anything about her in the morning
Totally.
because I'm
Yes.
cuddled up with the woman I love, laughing about what we did last night.
Yeah.
And it's true. You will say to me, "Do you remember the couple?" And I'm like, "No," because I don't remember.
Yeah.
I remember having a lovely time.
Yeah.
But
And
what her name was? No idea.
Do you know what? There is a funny story. I'm not going to say her name out loud because we haven't had a chance to talk to her about it. But there's a certain lady on the scene who is stunningly gorgeous, and she just lights up a room when she's there. And we don't get her to see her as often as we'd like to. And Mr. N has always had a thing for her. Always had a thing. And I was just like, no. Ain't
Not
happening.
happening.
She is phenomenally stunning in every way. Personality, looks, you name it.
I cry inside every time.
Oh, you fibber. But as I've got to know her, and she's got to know us, and then she understands our dynamic and our relationship and everything else, you've had little play.
Little dabbles.
When I wasn't there.
Little dabbles.
Only little bits of fun.
Genuine
only little
lifestyle
bits.
is they understand that, don't
Exactly.
they? You know, it's a hobby.
Exactly.
You don't interfere with people's relationships.
Yeah.
There's no need.
Yeah.
You can have a lovely time.
And
then
we talk to, you know, people who come to V2V. I mean, we always laugh, don't we? Because you get those who just throw themselves into that big playroom,
Yeah.
like kids in sweet shops, like,
Yeah.
holy moly, here we go.
Yeah.
And then you get those who stay in the bar, like rabbits in headlights, like, holy God. You know, and we talk to them, and it's exactly, you know, as we've talked about, they're having the same thoughts, the same insecurities, the same concerns that everybody has. and I always take it back to basics with the guys and with the lady and say, let's face it, me and him could get it on tonight. We can have the best time ever. Not the best, not as in, we can have the best sexual time ever.
Because it is different. It's completely different.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
But tomorrow he won't remember my name, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
I'll be just, well, that was fun, wasn't it? Tick, next.
Yeah.
And that's, when that little light bulb goes on. And I tell you, another big light bulb for me was that it's not necessarily the person that you're playing with, it's the situation that you find yourself in. So, you're in the big playroom at Libs, let's say, and you've got all this carnage going on around you, and it's not necessarily that one person that you're playing with. It's the fact that you're in such a naughty environment.
Yeah, that's so true.
You shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
That's the turn on.
Yeah.
That you're in such a taboo, naughty thing that actually, this sounds terrible, the person that you're with almost become, I won't say irrelevant because that's really disingenuous.
I totally
but I understand
But
what you're saying.
it's-
Absolutely.
It's a bigger picture. It's a bigger
There is a
picture.
bigger picture. The naughtiness is what you're doing as a group and as a couple and stuff, not necessarily that one person.
Do you just play in the big room, or do you go up to the private rooms as well?
We've done private rooms.
There's
as well.
such a difference, isn't there, between sometimes going up to the small rooms, the private rooms
It's
upstairs.
quite nice to do that.
Yeah.
We've done that a few times, haven't we?
In a weird way, it almost feels naughtier because you kind of
It's almost like a little private meet, isn't it?
But we're also very lucky that we've got my house, which I live on my own technically, so we normally bring groups of people back and have parties.
Our love nest.
Or it's not a party, but a gathering of like-minded individuals at mine, which is nice.
Yeah.
You're just living the best life.
There's one particular chair in his lounge that just makes me smile every time his mother sits on it.
Yeah. If only she knew.
She saw these photographs of that chair.
The naughty chair.
And you know exactly which chair I mean. Every time she's sitting there drinking tea, I'm like, oh, yeah. I can show you pictures of that chair. I think we've had about 8 people on it.
It's a good chair.
But it's been a fun journey, and I'd like to say we've probably got it sorted now.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's still things that we haven't experienced.
Well, there'll
that
still be
will
hiccups,
come,
won't
that
there?
will
But
still come and hit us.
I
And
don't think you ever stop learning.
No, I
you
agree.
don't. And those
I
little
totally agree.
road bumps, they're always going to be there. And I think for everybody, it's a case of it's normal.
Yeah.
You are not abnormal for feeling jealous. You're not abnormal for feeling insecure. And you guys who are, you worry about, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel seeing the love of my life with somebody else. You would probably not admit it like us ladies do, but has he got a bigger cock than me?
Yeah.
Is he going to fuck her harder than me?
Yeah.
And you must think about all those things as well.
And also you have that I almost added pressure, I think, of performing.
Performance.
yes, we do. Yeah.
I have literally, I said it, a little while ago, that I consider myself quite a private person. And then here I am on the podcast a few months back talking about being during an incident, and I was a bit worried about the elevator going all the way to the top, shall we say. And here I am. I thought, what should I do? Oh, no, just next week I'll talk about it on the podcast. Because it's like, well, if I have that, then there's other guys must have it at some point. And we talked about it with good friends of ours.
Yeah.
And there's a guy out there, our friends, Saucy and Busty.
Yeah.
And I spoke to Saucy about it. And he's like, mate, you're just in your own head. And he gave me the best advice and good talking to that I needed. And I was fine.
Yeah.
And it's having those people, beautiful, honest people to talk to sometimes when we get in our own head. And like you said, though, Miss Scarlett, in the beginning, if you don't have those friends in the lifestyle, and you feel on your own with it, and that's why we've got the Discord room.
I think that's a really good idea.
There's always people to talk to.
Yeah, I mean, the on there's a girls only room, there's a guys only room. The guys are very jealous because they think the girls only room is probably a lot more interesting than the guys only room.
It is. We talk about football.
Oh no!
Yes, football. You can imagine what the guys' room's like. I think we've talked about tools,
Kebabs, curries,
cars, tools.
But I know for a fact on there's been times when women have been on there and said, "Listen, girls, I'm having a real wobble today.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling brilliant. I think I'm this. I think I'm that."
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they just hug you.
Well, you girls are good at that. That's probably a bit more insular, aren't we?
Yeah. I'll tell you honestly what the guys' room is.
Yeah.
We all sit there going, it's shit in here. I bet it's really sexy in the girls' room.
They'll be talking underwear and
I'd have a girls' night out and a boys' night out.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you want to go? Well, perhaps you don't, but yeah, you want to go in the ladies' loos at Libs. The conversations.
Oh,
that are happening in
absolutely.
there,
Yeah.
it's just fabulous.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's where the fun is.
It is true. It is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there's lots of help with undressing and
Once again,
doing
I'm
up
crying inside.
Okay, yeah.
So I want to know, guys, I'm interested. So when you first got together, before the feelings and everything came in, did you set boundaries with each other? And then when the feelings came, did those boundaries change or?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, I don't think there were any particular boundaries, were there, when we were just getting together? I don't think there were, because I don't think...
We got together quite quickly. You know, we decided that we enjoyed spending weekends together, and we were doing all the naughty stuff together.
Yeah, I think we quite quickly we decided we didn't want to do the naughty stuff separately.
Yeah.
And I think I'm right in saying I don't think you met anybody else after we got together, and I didn't. But I suppose we didn't feel we could put those boundaries in because we weren't connected in that way.
But I also think we were naturally...
It just came very natural, obviously.
We both wanted the same thing, but we didn't realise we wanted it.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, we don't have that many boundaries now. One or two, to be honest. And we've, one of them's a really nice one, isn't it? That we came up with together. But as far as, you meet some couples and they come with a big list of do's and don'ts, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
And there's nothing unsexier than reading a list of do's and don'ts.
You can't do this, got to do that.
When you try and respect people's boundaries, because some of them are complete hard lines, either the no kissing or the this or that. So you try and navigate that. But ours, I don't think we've got that many, really. I mean... I think we've just learned we've always got eyes on one another. We had, I think, one of the things that I've learned fairly recently, perhaps in the last kind of 6 months-ish, so recent as in, lifestyle, was that it's okay to have that wobble in a club or at a party and be able to tap Professor Plums on the shoulder and go, time out.
Yeah.
I need that.
And that was what I wanted.
Yeah.
You didn't realise I was happy with that, did you?
Yeah, I didn't feel...
You'd suddenly leave. I said, don't leave the room on your own, because that panics me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I had that wobble and literally legged it.
Yeah.
I've got to get out of here, and that upset Professor Plums, like, where's she gone? So we had to talk that one through. And
was it a fear of kind of... You couldn't tell him because you were worried that you were ruining it.
Totally.
Yeah, I was having a good
100%,
time.
yeah. I didn't feel...
And I'm like, no, whatever I'm doing, if you are feeling insecure or...
But I said the same to Mrs. N. If you're not having a good time, then I'm not having a good time.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's a little light bulb moment.
And
I think
I
don't care what I'm doing. If you want time out, we're out of there as a couple.
We're out there together.
Yeah.
But I think every male partner that I've ever met feels that way. If the partner's not having a good time, then they're not having a good time.
So, I wasn't having a great experience, but, I looked over. Professor Plums is having a fantastic experience. And it's like, okay, I'm just out of here, and I just left.
Whereas 9 times out of 10, Miss Scarlett's quite happy to jump in and join in the action.
Yeah.
So the one time it didn't happen blew my mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
Yeah.
you know damn well you can join in. No, you're not shy at coming forward, and you love the interaction of a group.
Yeah.
The other thing about that, though, I personally, for me, I feel very proud that you thought enough of yourself to be able to get up and go, do you know what, this isn't happening for me, I'm going to go, because there would be so many other women out there that would just see it through.
Well,
Yeah.
yourself in the beginning, Mrs.
I've
M.
done that, I've been there, I've done it.
Yeah.
And you carried on, and then afterwards
and it's
gone,
awful.
I know.
I really didn't enjoy that.
Yeah, we've spoken to so many couples who have had these stories, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so what did you do?
Yeah.
Well, I went through with it.
Yeah.
What? No. And again, I think that comes to the mood-based thing.
Yeah.
So if I'm not having a great time, no, it's not happening for me.
Yeah.
You know, physically. So
And it is a top tip, isn't it? Just be honest with whoever's in the room.
yeah, totally. Yeah.
A lot of the time we can sense it and feel it anyway.
Yeah,
some
sure.
of us can.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get the feeling that you two are very similar this way, because you can tell how connected you are as a couple. But with Mr. N and myself, he only has to look at me. He knows straight away if I'm enjoying myself or not. He can
Yeah.
see it. My facial expressions kind of say everything. So,
Good.
Professor Gibbs can hear if I'm having a good time.
Yeah. I don't need to look.
recognise that voice.
Yeah, but you know, like I said, this was quite recently for us, so even now we're still learning. So, and I think something did happen not that long ago where I had a bit of a wobble. I can't even remember what it was now, and I thought, no, I can do this, and I literally went over, tapped the shoulder, can we get some water?
Yeah.
You know, time out, let's get some water. And it doesn't matter, I think he had his face buried somewhere, you know, but I felt confident enough to go because we'd had that chat.
Yeah.
And just tap him on the shoulder and time out, I need some water. And he knows if I ask for water, that's, you know,
Yeah.
and instantly we're out there together and we move on, because you're right, if I'm not having
And
a
that's
great
the togetherness, is how it should be.
if I'm not having a great experience and he is, well, that's not what we're in this for. We're in this together.
Exactly.
We both need to have that.
I say it week in and week out. This hobby is supposed to be fun.
Yes, totally.
Absolutely.
So if it's not, then move on.
Move on.
Or take
And
a break.
Take a break.
Take a
definitely,
break.
Yeah.
And we did take a break and talked about what had not happened or what had, you know, where the frustration was. And he's like, right, okay, move on. And we did. We moved on and had a great night. So no, I've never been, I don't think so. I've never been that one to go through with it, because it's just, that doesn't happen for me.
We did that on was it the third meet ever? We just carried on.
Yeah, we've all had those.
Never take one for the team.
Yeah, we've all had them.
Actually, that leads on to a question I wanted to ask you both, because obviously you've said that you do play at your own home.
Yeah.
Do you find it easier when you're in the club to, if things obviously you're not having the best time, you can just kind of go? It's slightly different when you're in your own
Yeah,
home.
we've got a couple of stories on that.
There's more pressure. There's more pressure.
Yeah.
This is what I always find, that brand newbies think, oh, home meet's easier. No, it's not.
No, it's not. Not at all.
So now, yes, we're happy to host, but we always do icebreaker drinks in the village pub first.
Which is 5 minutes down
Which
the
is
road.
5 minutes down the road.
Good idea. Yeah.
So if somebody comes back to the house, then we've had those chats. We've had the initial tick, tick, tick.
Well, we've got that wrong a couple of times, haven't we?
We have got that wrong a couple of times.
You've invited them back. I'm like, oh, what have
And
you done?
you've not wanted them
What
back.
have you done?
Yeah. So get that. And usually it's the other way around. So we've been quite happily, are you coming back for coffee? And
And they're like, yeah. And I'm like,
And they're following us in the car behind.
Tapping underneath the table.
Water.
And then you talk about, boundaries. Everybody's got the safe words.
Yeah.
We once met a couple that you were convinced she went to the toilet with her hair in a ponytail and came down with it down, and you went, that's the sign. I was like, is it? It's like, how did she know that? It's like, yeah, ponytail. She went to the loo with the ponytail in and came back with her hair down.
out, yeah.
So that was giving him a message, yay or nay. I was like, wow, how cool is that?
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
Intercepting the signals. This is
and I
this
was
is
like
cool.
totally oblivious. To me, she'd just taken a ponytail
Oh, so I'd have been
out.
the same.
Yeah. But no, we've had a couple where I've been kind of, okay, yeah, let's
Well,
go back
again,
to
it was
the
in the early days, and you,
Yeah,
you were
it
trying
was.
hard to make it happen for me.
Yeah.
Because
And
I
I'm
thought that's what you wanted.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'm happy. Don't need.
I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, you invited them back, and in the car, I'm like, I don't think I can do this. It's like, I don't.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't find her attractive at all.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? A man said.
I know, but this is the thing, because
It's
like we were
true.
saying,
It's true.
it is a myth thing that it's not just about sex. You don't just go off and shag anything that moves. There has to be a connection. There has to be an
Absolutely, yeah.
attraction.
I have seen couples on Fab Swingers that then have met in person and gone, oh no, you're not for me.
Yeah.
Even just as a physical
Yeah.
thing.
Well, very much so. They
Yeah.
can be
Completely.
gorgeous on the
Yeah.
pictures, then you meet them, and there's a
They're-
joke we use. We call them cardboard boxes,
Yeah.
and you get more conversation out of a cardboard box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just not attractive at all.
Yeah.
You just have no desire to play with them at all.
And we
No
always,
matter how good looking they are.
physically,
Yeah.
they're beautiful.
we
you know.
always say the
Yeah.
most sexy thing is confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence
It is.
and sparkle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if a
absolutely.
man can make a woman laugh, you're pretty much halfway in her knickers anyway.
Not with.
Well, not with his
not with
jokes,
his
no.
jokes.
Are you feeling sorry for me?
Not at all. You two have got it right as well.
It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress.
You need a better writer.
So yes, I mean, go back to your original point. So yeah, if we're happy to host at home, but we'll always do icebreaker drinks.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've had this experience. I've always had this thing about hot tubs. So if somebody invites us around for a hot tub, and you've never met them before, that freaks me out. Simply because
Can't get away.
you can't. There's no escape.
Never thought
There's
about
no
that.
escape.
I've never thought about
You know,
that.
I've never
and
thought of that,
There was
actually.
a particular couple, always inviting us around until I actually had the guts, I suppose, to say, do you know what? It's the hot tub thing that's freaking me out, because going to your home without meeting you first is a big thing anyway.
Yeah.
But to actually invite us around for a hot tub party we've never met,
A hot tub after a play is lovely.
hot tub after
Yes.
play, or we
Relax
meet in the
just for a
pub
drink.
and we have drinks and cocktails or whatever, and then we go back for
Or
a hot
even if
tub.
you know,
Great
I suppose
stuff.
if you
Yeah.
know the couple, that's different. It's nice
totally
warm up.
different.
Yeah.
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 But to invite us around for a hot tub party and we've never
As a
met,
prelude.
Yeah.
and it's
It's-
like that freaks me out a little bit. Only for the very reason that there's no escape, or
Yeah.
it'd be
Top tip.
very awkward.
Yeah.
To say, do you know what?
I'm going to
Well,
get
it just-
dressed now.
Well,
Well, it just
yeah.
makes you think
It's a bit awkward.
whether they've already got sort of a
A bit preconception.
preconception that something is going
going
to
to
happen.
happen, yeah.
Which
And when
you
you're-
can't
You
shouldn't do that, no.
When you're either naked or in a bikini in a hot tub, that's quite an intimate environment
Yeah.
for you to then to navigate your way out of if it's not happening.
Yeah.
But we did do a house meet with a very lovely couple in a very beautiful house, didn't we? And they had a hot tub, and we talked about it, and they said, the hot tub will be on. Should we all feel like we
Well,
want
they
to,
were fairly new in the lifestyle. Anyway.
should you want
Yeah.
to? But you're coming around for drinks first.
Yeah.
So so
That's
by
like
the time
optional.
we made it to the
Exactly.
hot tub,
Yeah, the invitation's there, but it's
Well, we had
not.
played with them, hadn't we?
we had
And
played
then
with
went in
them
the hot tub
and then went to the hot tub afterwards and
Yeah.
had drinks, and that was great. But it wasn't an invite to a hot tub party.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
There are
But that-
people that use it as
But that so
turn
yeah,
on.
if you're listening and you invite us to a hot tub party,
It
it's
ain't
a no.
happening.
No, that freaks me out. That freaks me out. Yeah, because there's no escape.
All those couples that invite people, if there's towels now on the seat in the car, you know that they're planning.
But also, I like to think, I like to give people an out as well. So again, if we're doing a home meet, and meeting in the pub is as much for their benefit as it is for ours as well. So they might not like us, so that gives them an out.
And we also spend a lot of time meeting halfway, which we don't do anymore either.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a whole podcast on socials, I suppose.
Yeah,
the do's and don'ts.
We went through a lot of socials where they lived 50 mile away, so we'd arrange to meet them halfway.
The halfway socials.
And we'd get on them with like a house on fire, and you'd want to take it further, but you couldn't because
you're miles away from anywhere.
And then of course you had to do all the more planning, and it would fizzle out,
and it doesn't happen.
So we said, this is getting silly. We would every weekend we were going on socials after socials.
Halfway, so that's again another tip we've never ever covered.
And it wasn't working.
You could do a whole episode on socials.
So we then said, right, we'll either come to you or you come to our local pub, and then we.
But don't do a halfway social.
Don't do halfway socials because they're hard work.
Just this morning, somebody's like, "Shall we meet halfway?" And I said, "No."
And they're like, "No," because if we think you're lovely and know it could progress, you can't.
There's no fun sitting in a little chef.
And feeling horny and kind of anything about it.
And it's funny. I mean, we do. I mean, you'll laugh at this. Every New Year, don't we? At the start of the year, we have a bit of a debrief, don't we? So
what we doing right? What we doing wrong?
We've been together for 3 years now, but every New Year, it's like, right, New Year.
What should we tweak?
Let's have a bit of a recap on what's gone well. This year. What's not gone so well? What do we need to tweak? Are we cool with this? Or, and the halfway socials was one of those things we tweaked. Said we're not doing those anymore, and we haven't.
No,
we haven't.
But that is that's the equation to a great relationship and a great
absolutely
swinging lifestyle, isn't it? To have those chats, to look at what you think was right, what was wrong, what you like, what you don't like, because I can imagine there's lots of people out there that probably don't even think about it.
Arranging a meet with a couple is the hardest dynamic ever. It is, because everybody's got to be happy.
You've got to have that four-way connection.
So you've got to have that four-way connection. So you tick that off. We've got that. Then we find a lot of the times that the guys run the profile. So you're never quite sure whether the lady's involved and engaging.
So true. That is true.
We've had a couple of classic meets where she had no idea.
No idea.
Oh, no. It was literally, I brought my vagina along with me.
We have this phrase, he's just bringing his vagina. Yeah. She has no interaction with us whatsoever.
We met a couple that I'd been chatting to them as a couple. You'd been, as single people.
About 4 or 5 years.
And he'd been chatting away to both of us, then chatting to us as a couple. And we finally met this couple, and she had no idea who we were.
Idea. And we actually said to her, we said, "When did you know you were meeting us?" And she said, "This morning."
No.
So
she was very happy about it.
She was happy to be there. And we said, "So you don't know that we've actually been chatting to your other half for, we reckon, about 4 years."
Between the two of us.
Between the two of us, and then together.
Oh my God.
No. Yeah. So he literally brought his vagina with him. So we have this phrase now, don't we?
Yeah, he's bringing his vagina with him.
He's bringing his vagina with him. Forget it. We want the lady to be as engaged,
as excited to meet a couple as it was.
Yeah.
We want to meet them.
For Professor Plums, he's quite right. I want to know this lady wants to meet me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's excited about meeting me as much as he is excited about meeting you.
Yeah.
So for the ladies that aren't engaging, and you hear it all the time, or he runs the profile. I just go along.
Even look.
It's like, come on, guys. This is.
It's putting effort in, isn't it?
Yes,
it's about putting effort in. Yeah, I understand that.
Arranging to meet couples is so complicated, I think, and everybody's so busy. Diaries are horrendous. Diary time.
So true.
So you end up putting things in the diary like 3 months in advance, and it's like, okay, so on October the 53rd, I've got to be horny at 8 o'clock.
I know.
That's Mrs. N's favourite. That's Mrs. N's.
Okay, I'll get myself wound up and
it's not that easy for us women.
And then you meet them in the pub and they're a pair of cardboard boxes.
But then, and it's difficult to keep that sexy chat going
for that length of time.
For that length of time,
exactly.
But what we were finding was, in that time, you're engaging on a much more less sexual level. So it's like, oh, we're moving house. How did your house move go?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the furniture didn't fit in there. I was like, oh, right. Oh, that's a shame. You know,
Yawn.
oh, yeah. And the dog's been ill. Oh, no, that's really awful. And Auntie Betty's had a hernia. Oh, God. So when you meet these people for your... Auntie Betty, yeah. So when you meet these people for, let's face it, a sex date, the first thing you go is, how's your Auntie Betty?
Yeah.
And there's nothing as unsexy
As an exploding hernia.
as exploding hernias. And are the dogs okay? Have they pooped in the? Do you remember you were telling me they were pooping in the conservatory? How's that going?
Yeah.
And then it's like, do you want to play?
It's so true.
It's
That
like
is
so unsexy.
When you think about it, you wouldn't do that on a one-to-one date.
No.
You wouldn't sort of, if it was a sexy hot date on a one-to-one, you wouldn't go, hey, how's Auntie Betty's hernia?
Yeah.
That word just really does it for me.
Tell me again.
I'm sure people listening are like, yeah, that happens. It really does happen. That you have to plan things so far in advance because of the dynamic.
Yeah.
And keep it sexy.
You're right. You try and keep it sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
good
to be
advice.
honest, we kind of almost, and this must be frustrating for the couples that we meet, we kind of cut the chat a little bit.
Yeah.
And then try and pick it back up a week or a fortnight out, you know, to try and pick it back up and get everybody revved back up, because I don't want to know about Auntie Betty's hernia, you know, and all that sort of stuff. And it's the social thing is. Yeah,
That is fascinating.
It's true,
we've had
because
some good ones, haven't we?
We've had some cracking.
we've talked about this
social,
before, where Mr. N, for the sexiness side of it for Mr. N is very much in the mind.
Totally and utterly.
So you're right, when you get into those everyday conversations, it's like, it's not doing anything for me.
Totally, yeah. And, you know, the group chats. I mean, you could do another episode all about the group chats.
No, we don't do those anymore.
How many group chats do you let's set up a WhatsApp chat. And before you know it, you're in 53 different WhatsApp groups.
Ping.
And it's like, who's this? Well, who's that? And God, if they haven't got a WhatsApp picture, you're really stuck.
no.
We eliminated all of that because we just use Discord.
So we do.
Discord.
I mean, we just knock the chat on the head completely now. We don't engage with group chats because the phones are just going
back
all
to
the
what
time.
you were saying, Miss Scarlett, about you know, the fab thing. The way we work it is, so Mr. M will do the initial. Yeah, dickhead. Get rid of all of those.
Get rid of 300 of them.
Yeah. And then he'll go.
And then there's 2 left.
I found you a good one.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about it, and and it'll be yay or nay from me. He knows my type so well anyway.
Yeah.
Well, you run our profile, don't you?
Yeah.
And very happy for her to do so.
Yeah.
And you can spot a fake a mile off, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, we took the view that, let's face it, girls, we run the show.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We
100%.
have the final say, yay or nay. So all you poor fellas running your Fab Swingers profiles, spending days scrolling, saying to your other half, what do you reckon to them? And they go, nah. You go, okay. You go back, scrolling. And that happens times a million.
Yeah.
You know, how frustrating for you fellas. You know.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
we flip it. So we pretty much know if it's a yes from me, it's always a yes from Professor Blum.
What are you trying to say?
Pretty much.
Okay, you're right.
So easy.
Pretty much.
Yes.
So we flip it the other way round, and I run our profile.
Well, you're very media savvy anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, and if, you know, so any meets that, or couples that pick my interest, if you like, you know, and I'm like, oh, I'm talking to a really, really nice couple here, and, you know, you'll jump on, we jump on at different times during the day, and it works okay.
Works very
and
well,
it's so nice sometimes when you are talking to a lady on the other end, to be fair. You can always tell the girls
Yes, you
chatting,
can. That's true.
you know, and we learn to spot the fakes and all those things over the years. And sometimes I get it wrong, you know. I'll meet this really sexy couple, and, you know, Professor Plums go, have you seen this though? I'm like, oh God, why didn't I see that? Oh God,
They're smokers.
you know, either
She's straight.
smokers or she's straight, or I'm like, oh God, I didn't see that.
Have you
know.
seen the fact that they've put serial killers on the
You know, and I have to go back and go, my bad, I didn't read the profile, I'm so sorry, you know. But yeah, it's we just flip it round, because to me it just saves so much time. You know, because she must spend hours scrolling and scrolling and scrolling just to be told no. So, and again, goes back to what we were talking about, 20 minutes, half an hour ago. I'm sharing my most precious possession, if you like.
Yeah.
So I want the lady to be engaged with him as much as the guy is engaging with me. So if we feel that, it's a guy just bringing his vagina along because she's had no engagement in the profile, she doesn't know until the day that she's meeting, well, that's no good for him. He wants that sexy feeling.
And I have said the same thing to you, haven't I, Mrs.
Yeah,
Lynn?
absolutely.
Yeah.
That is such a top tip. We are just about out of time, guys. It's been so eye-opening.
Yeah.
Talking to you. We always say this. We've done this for like 100 odd episodes, but we still learn every time we talk to people.
It's funny because when I speak to people, as Mr. N always says, I'm trying to groom people to come on the podcast.
Yes, she does.
And they'll say, but I've got nothing to say. I don't have any stories. And people always say that. And you say, no, you don't realise, but you do. Everybody has a story because everybody's experience is different.
True.
Yeah.
Because it's all personal, it's individual. And this is why we love it, don't we? We love listening to people's stories. And your story has been amazing today. Super, super excited that we got
for having us.
to share it with you today.
I think you're very inspirational as well.
Incredibly.
I think your level of communication between each other is inspirational.
You mean I couldn't get a word in edgeways?
Oh no, did I hold the mic?
Professor Plum, he's the quiet, strong type.
I just want to put it out there as well that anybody that is interested in coming on the podcast, these lovely people bought his cakes.
We are open to bribery.
Which you've not opened, by the way.
No, we'll go
cake
and have
now.
one. We'll go and have some cake now. We've earned it. We've all earned it. We'll do a debrief and have a cake.
That's a whole different episode.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming.
It's a pleasure. It's great. It's great to chat to you about
sharing your
stuff.
story. It's like we always say, don't we? We never get to really know people until they come on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's really interesting actually hearing your story. And like I say, when I saw you two together, honestly, I would have thought you'd been together since you were, like 16-year-old, a perfect couple. The pair of
Thank you. Yeah.
Say so. We are, aren't we?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Lovely.
It is lovely.
We're very lucky.
lovely.
We're very lucky.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
See you next time, guys.
Yeah, see you. Bye. Bye.
This week, I'll be mostly stroking my cock with Colonel Mustard in the library.